Hi everyone, welcome back to Through Alchemy. So today's reading is going to be titled as Connect with Your Inner Shaman. Shamanic healing is an ancient Native American practice. So today we're going to understand how to connect with your ancestral spirits. We have three piles from left to right. The first one is Yellow Aventurine. The second pile is Howlite. And the third pile is Rose Quartz. Pause if you need a little bit longer. Pick the one which calls your name the most, and I'm gonna begin with pile number one. Hello, pile number one. If you chose this Yellow Aventurine, this is going to be your reading. So I'm looking at your thumbnail, and I almost feel like immediately your energy is quite fragmented, all right? And it's important for me to establish that rather than giving it a smooth sailing into your reading, because um, I feel like with the Yellow Aventurine, it's almost like you have a hard time believing that you are that spiritual or you will have that spiritual access to your ancestors. And especially when we talk about shamanic healing, it's a lot about you connecting with your roots. It's very vital for healing generational patterns. So I see that the lady over in the cover, she has, a dream catcher. So not only it is something that I personally believe helps us prevent nightmares, but it could also be a sign of I'm hearing for some people sleep paralysis. You could have been through that, and I definitely feel like your ancestors want to let you know that you are always protected. You can see that sort of blue light um, sort of encompassing around the girl's whole body, and she has really long hair. For me is always symbolic of a lot of wisdom. I feel like with the stick that she has over here, it's almost like she has a sense of protection with her, right? She is almost like whenever your ancestors sense or I would rather say they sort of like suspect any danger to you, it's almost like they're very quick to protect you through, I would say, angelic protection, their own protection. And I see that your roots definitely go back to um, some ancient, I'm getting Egyptian vibes. I'm getting heavy Egyptian vibes. And our souls resonate with these things because we have spent prominent lifestyle lifetimes or prominent times in those eras of human existence, right? So there's something very prominent over here about your ancestors from the Egyptian era, and I'm keeping this reading very free flowing as to whatever needs to come through and the message gets delivered. So for you, it's a lot about just letting your ancestors connect with you, because I feel like you face a lot of difficulty with believing in yourself. The Yellow Aventurine is a very unique stone. It's rare, it's one of a kind, and I feel like I relate your journey as being a generational pattern breaker. I think that you suffer with a lot of overthinking and negative thinking that almost like entraps you within your own thoughts. It's almost like you freeze and you don't take many decisions that are action oriented. I would guess so. That is the majority of how your life passes by, is in your own thoughts and imagination. And I see that you get a lot of creative thoughts inspired by your angels and your ancestors, but specifically, there's a sense of stagnancy within you. Like there's a sense of just not being able to proceed with what's being offered to you, is almost what I feel like. And I'm filming this at sunset, so it's almost like, the sun is really, um, it's really piercing through my gaze, and I feel like it's almost like with the yellow aventurine, this stone also helps you remove self-worth issues, and a lot of these issues stem from, the way we've been brought up, and then subsequently how life, I would say, like how we show up and then people treat us. We teach people how to treat us, right? And right now you're learning how to treat yourself, and of course, then we come to understand how to tell people to treat us, right? So I feel like at this point you have a lot of dreams locked up inside which you want to achieve, which your ancestors have been helping you upon how to actually proceed with it, I would say. And I also feel like, with the yellow aventurine, it's almost like, solar plexus again. That is the most prominent thing I always know of, and I'm trying to be creative at this moment with your energies, because I feel like you need to understand, as to why do you have so much self-doubt and what you need to clear from your psyche, because I do sense that, your ancestors want to give you answers. They want to give you keys to how to solve these, I would say, familial patterns, because there's something that stems from your paternal side. I'm hearing that is almost been like, entrapping for a lot of you. So I see that. Okay, so we're gonna stop with the channeling. We're going to pull out a few cards. So I feel like your ancestors have been, I'm almost hearing that they've been waiting, almost like they're saying they've been waiting for me to do this reading so that you can get a message. I feel like you have been at a stage where it's just like you have to make some difficult choices for yourself, or just a very prominent choice that I'm hearing that you know the answer to, but you just don't have the courage to move forward with it. So we're gonna take this one in upright. We have the Justice. This is in reverse, upright, reverse. So we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, reverse. The Morning. So I'm going to see that as Sun. Okay, reshuffle. Nine of Wands. We're going to clarify the Nine of Wands. Reverse. Three of Swords. That's it. We're going to clarify the Justice with reverse. Magician. Okay, that's pretty much it. We see the Ace of Swords, bottom of the deck. Okay. Crowning is the Universe. So there's sort of like a perseverance kind of a thing going on over here with you. And it's really interesting how they left this space sort of empty. So we're gonna see what's that about. I would say that pile number one, we have Justice, and we have the Magician, which is Virgo and Gemini, ruled by Mercury. We have the Ace of Swords, which is giving me a lot of Aquarius, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, but I'm picking up on Aquarius. We have we have the Three of Swords, which always for me is a lot like Pluto and Saturn energy. It's like heavy healing, heavy karma healing. With the Nine of Wands, this card really is giving me an energy of like a panther spirit. From my previous readings, I feel like this energy is a lot about persevering and just getting through life. But I feel like through these, just like getting through life every day has become like a rat race for you. And I feel like what they want for you to know, your ancestors, is that you need time for yourself and you avoid that time. There's no better way to place it. It's almost like, your ancestors would never get mad at you in a way, but they're kind of getting a little disappointed with the way that you know that you have a spiritual essence to you and you still do not access it. It's almost like you have a privilege and you're just feeling like you're not going to avail that privilege. It's like you're just refusing to, at this point, see what you're really made of, with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, we're gonna shuffle from the Keepers of Light. Okay, we have faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, see the light in the world. It's almost like they're giving me this card with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's really talking to me about how you're just ignoring things that you're hearing. It's almost like at this point it's self-sabotage because you think that you know what you're doing, but it's almost like you are limping. I feel like you're limping in life. You're not able to really have a good grasp about things. I feel like with the blue again that we have, it's a lot about voicing your opinion. I feel like I'm really connected with your ancestors as of now, and they're telling me about maybe a love relationship also that I see coming over here. But the justice, I would relate it with Libra energy, the planet of Venus. Again, planet of Venus is another attribute, is self-worth, which brings us back to yellow aventurine. So there's an opportunity that you keep defying or denying because you don't feel worthy of it, and it goes deeper than me just saying that you don't feel worthy of it, right? It's something that you have to understand as to what are the multiple reasons stopping you from just accepting love. It's almost like you find excuses to push away love. And with the faith card, it's almost like you don't believe in the purity of love at this point, right? And I almost feel like you're heavily relating to the fact that you just don't believe in the safe, you don't feel safe with love. And it's because of the way that your family has brought you up. In your family, it is almost, I'm getting a lot of greed. It's always been about money. It's always been about sort of like, what can I do? And it's almost like I get the image of all your family members or you as a child and your siblings just being in their own corners, having no emotional connection. It's almost like you're deprived of emotional connectivity, and that stems from a place of emotional intimacy. There's this thing which is called intimacy, can be spelled as into me see. So it's into me see. You are craving to be seen as who you are without what you have to sort of do or make of yourself, or it's almost like removing everything, just bare you really can't even accept the fact that somebody would want you without you, maybe supporting them financially, maybe you just doing something for them. It's almost like receiving love has become a transaction for you, and I feel so heavy, and your ancestors feel sad about this, that you don't avail the love that they're trying to give you, the wisdom that they're trying to give you. It's almost like with the Nine of Wands and the Three of Swords in reverse, they do appreciate that you're putting in the hard work to heal from a past heartbreak. And to be fair, they're saying that this heartbreak comes from literally your birth. This is something that you've already sort of experienced even in the womb. This is something that you don't know, is that you think that maybe somebody broke your heart when you maybe came into a relationship being naive or something, but you don't realize that this is kind of heartbreaking. But so they're saying that the first people that actually broke your heart were your parents. And I think that you try to justify one parent against the other. You try to think who's the bad guy. But you have to understand that it is basically how the society works. It's like your parents, I'm hearing both your parents. I think that you try to be biased towards one parent, but you have to understand that both your parents have a karmic tie to you, because both your parents don't know the meaning of unconditional love. And as difficult as it is for me to deliver this message, I feel like it's so important for you to connect with your ancestors from time to time, because all you have to do is just sit in this silence, you know. It's like you need these truths, you need to know what lies in your lineage so that you can do better for yourself and claim your destiny. You know, with the Ace of Swords, this is Archangel Michael's card. This is a lot about him helping you cutting cords with your past. And I think that you're just not feeling brave enough to leave your own cocoon as of now, and it's because you don't have the vital information to fight the level of, I would say, the level of life that you've reached, right? It's almost like I've explained it in a previous reading. I don't know if you've I would say that it's a lot about, you know, you trying to navigate your way through an outdated GPRS that cannot get you to the destination. So we have Bath Coal, number 8. The Sun. So the Bath Coal is almost like a card. We have the Vision. So I see that the Vision card again. See, I spoke about Archangel Michael, and lapis lazuli is again a sort of stone which I see that you have a lot of blue color coming up. And we have twice number 8. What are the odds for that, right? It's a lot about your karmic relations in your life. And I think that you have faced difficulty in accepting the fact that you have heavy karma to evolve with your parents. You had that, but I'm hearing that it's the end of it. It's almost like I'm hearing the word guilt tripping. So it's almost like you feel like, you know, you sort of, you know, how when we're a child, we're taught how to be, you know, and we're taught what's right and wrong. So it gets programmed within us, right? So I'll give you an example. Okay, so this is going to be a personal example that Spirit wants me to share. So, you know how we all face difficulty in being vulnerable, and I almost feel like keeping a stone on my chest because even I don't like sharing personal experiences, but I feel like this is a lot about it's vulnerability in on a wholesome level. It's almost like, for me, one of the most difficult things have been expressing how much I feel. And you know how we grow up and we're being taught, especially during my teenage life, I was almost made felt, because like my peer influence or my friends were almost like really, I would say, matrixy. So when I used to feel sensitive, it's almost like either I used to get pity, or I used to be, you know, sort of like name called as somebody who would be who wanted sympathy. You know, it's almost like they would sort of think that I'm attention seeking, and that really clogged my ability from expressing myself on a whole level, because I feel so much and I want to make people feel that way as well. But because it was not reciprocated, it was not appreciated, I sort of learned how to just bottle up my emotions, and it just limited my ability to love another person, right? It just limited my ability to be myself. And it's almost like what I learned through my experiences, that you should not let the other person know how much you care about them. And I feel like somebody over here could relate to that, you know, we almost learn that the one who doesn't show that they care too much is almost like they have a upper hand, and it's not true. It's like, because of that power struggle, what I'm actually learning is how to be in a false sense of myself, right? It's almost like I learned how to not be true to myself, because if I feel so much and if I can give so much love out there, then that is my unique quality, right? It's like that's my uniqueness, and diminishing myself or depriving myself of being a whole expression of who I am on a soulful level was really, really limiting my potential to even be on a platform and sort of like maybe educating people with the things that I have to offer, right? Because I don't feel like, a part of me not being able to express my whole truth as to how much I can love also limited my way of self expression, right? So it affects you in all ways. So your self worth is tied with a lot of little reasons that you have been told is not good for you to be yourself. And this is that, way of expressing your truth, pile number one. So I feel like with the sun card, this is a lot about self-expression and embodying truth. What is your truth? What you know is true within you, but you feel embarrassed or shameful about being yourself, and I feel like since I mentioned this experience, it's almost like I am myself. I have to be honest, I feel difficulty in expressing my difficult experiences that affected me on a huge level I did not even realize. So having to heal that is also something I'm seeing, that being a half-ass version of yourself is literally worse than anything, because you're just like always thinking, am I doing the right thing? But it feels good to me, but I heard that this is not how it should be. It's a lot about like just scrutiny. You just criticize yourself by the end of the day, and you just cage yourself inside, and you don't even allow yourself to meet people that can be just like you, right? So with the vision, I see that you are going forward in your life and you don't see where you're going. It's almost like driving on a foggy night and you're just trying to see what's like 10 meters ahead of you. But does that mean that there's no road ahead of it just because you can't see it? So that is the reason why your ancestors want you to connect with them, so that you can actually be yourself and not have these self-worth issues, and you can actually clear out, I'm hearing, the gunk in the trunk almost. All right, so pile number one, this brings us to the end of your reading. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye. Alright, hello pile number twos. You chose the Howlite. So with the picture in the thumbnail, I see this picture was out of all three, the one that really caught my eye. You can see this sort of fire spirits, I would say, that are coming out like cubs or something like that, right? And I'm very fascinated by this image because it's a very deep in trance for me. And the Howlite stone, I was actually just reading a little bit more about it, and this said that the stone has received other names like the snow leopard stone for its resemblance to the beautiful large cat of the Central South Asia. And it's almost like it's amazing how spirit works, right? Because my intuition just wanted to pick up the Howlite, especially for today's reading. And this, if you look at this stone, it's sort of like it just has this these sort of strokes over it which are significant to the cat. So we have cat spirits over there, so I feel like your ancestors have been prominently around you is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing that you have been deeply connected with them even if you don't realize, because you already have a background to shamanism, and you are somebody that already might have, you could have been someone who saw this reading and you were pretty excited or curious. I'm also hearing that you talking to perhaps your Native American ancestors, or there's something about I feel like you try to relate yourself with these origins of star seeds and like a lot of things. You never really know how diverse your soul is, but I feel like pile number two, your soul is very diverse, and you have different kinds of ancestors that got your back, and I feel like you are somebody that has incarnated as a warrior. I feel like you are almost like I feel like through these readings you are almost like gaining a sense of self, because you always knew that you have something special that is very powerful within, because you have the ability to transmute really, really heavy emotions. I'm getting a lot of trigger warnings. Some of you could have been through sexual abuse, or you could have abused yourself in that manner. It's almost like you did not respect your body, your vessel, as much as you should have, or you could have, I'd rather say. Okay, I wanted to be really careful of my words, because I feel like there are going to be certain things that are going to be triggering, not necessarily something that would particularly hurt you or make you feel bad, but in a way it will definitely, I think it would make you feel a little bit remorseful over how you've treated yourself, because you have not always understood your value. And I feel like with the howlite, it's almost like, the basic properties of this stone is, it's a very spiritual stone. That's why I feel like you're already connected with your ancestors. But I almost get a sense of like, the spiritual abilities of the stone is stillness, clearing out negative patterns, or just an upset mind. And I feel like with an upset mind, I'm getting a little it's not even hypothetical. I would say that it's an example that spirit is giving me. It's like a disease. It's almost like for a very long time you thought really bad of yourself, which was infected, or I would rather say that it was a product of society. Okay, that you were just taught this. And right now, outside my window, wow, I see this beautiful a sort of moth. And moths are, I feel like, this is an instance that spirit is giving me, that a lot of people that have not been of light have really taken away from you. And I feel like this is not just your friends or exes or something. These have also been your parents or family members to an extent, because I'm hearing that you are a chosen one. So there's something really special about you. Pile number 2 is what I feel. There's something really different about you. I'm noticing this sort of, if you take a closer look with me in the picture, it's almost like this guy, he has a sort of belt coming around his left side, so that's our right side in the picture. And he has some sort of wand in his hand that looks like a cobra's head. So I feel like this is a lot about kundalini awakening, and I'm hearing from past lives and lives you've been doing this. I'm hearing Amet, Ahamet, Sekhmet. So these are all Egyptian goddesses. Amet was particularly someone who turned a little on the darker side, and I feel like you do have the ability to go either ways, pile number 2. And I do not hold any judgment, because that is what you want to or would like to do. But I also see, it's instead of just smoke, I see like spirits in the back of this guy. This sort of like he looks like a character, you know what I mean, and not in a demeaning manner, but he looks like somebody who's got something, like he knows what he's doing, and he's doing something really powerful with the amount of clothes and the detail that I see in this picture. It just gives me luxury, it's almost like there's potency to his personality with the way he's dressed up and his headgear, and his eyes are beaming yellow, so it's almost giving, I heard the word impressive. So it's almost like he has a scanner in his eyes, and he can read what people are of quality and what not. So your ability has been sort of, I would say it has been limited to an extent, because you still have to sort of explore your spirituality, and I do not mean to take it away from the work that you have still done. Okay, your ancestors definitely notice the work that you have been doing, but they also are coming through. I feel like pile number 2, there's not much emphasis on you not connecting with them. I feel like whenever you feel disconnected with your spiritual nature, you take out the time to sort of sit in silence, or whatever way you meditate. I do not feel like this this is a reading where it's like you should connect with your ancestors and yada yada yada. I just feel like you are more like, yes, I know what I need to do. So I feel like for majority of you, pile number two, if you haven't understood your power within, that would be a message for you. Connect with your spirituality, connect with your intuition first of all, so that you know which kinds of spirits to communicate with, right? But I see that for a few of you, yeah, I think that that is what spirit was building up. It's almost like you know how to communicate with spirits by now. You're a medium. um you bring messages from the other side. I'm also hearing prophet. So but you have these prophecies, and I feel like you also get messages in your dream states for your family members, or your friends. You just get messages, and something about this reading is really hurting my throat chakra. I think I'm really connected with your energy. I feel like pile number two, you have been maybe you have been interacting with spirits that are not of light, and these are really sort of, this energy is really getting to me right now, so I'm having to really disconnect with it. So I feel like one of the things that I'm really picking up is that, this discernment that I can pick up over here what is really not suiting my body right now, and it's really affecting my throat chakra. And I feel a sense of overwhelmingness, like I feel like crying, because I think that these energies attack your psyche, and you have to think a little bit about this, because your energy is somewhere. You have to learn how to discern with these energies, because you have open portals, and this is an important message for you, because this can really affect the way that you lead your life. That's why I just got the image of I just saw a black moth outside. That's why I'm sort of like concerned. So we have Aries, and we have from world to world, goddess Saraswati and Ammonite, number 88. I'm gonna Google what's ammonite. I don't really have this stone, neither do I have any knowledge of it. Alright, so ammonite says it harmonizes feelings. A significant earth healing fossil, grounding qualities. Ammonite brings stability and order to life. These two qualities enhance spiritual growth and development. It provides insight and assists you in seeing the whole picture. So I feel like this relates to a lot about you understanding what kind of spirits you're interacting with. I feel like you need to know that when you're beginning off in keeping one link to the spiritual world and one with the metaphysical, you are prone to calling spirits close to you which are not of light, because they just want a way to be prevalent in the physical realm with us. And spirits do not stay unless and until you provide them some sort of consent, right? So the moment I spoke into existence a protection prayer for myself right before I opened your cards, it's almost like I sort of banish those spirits to be around me, even though I'm still channeling your energy, right? And it was really heavy on my throat chakra. So I feel like these energies sort of maybe provoke your anger, or they used to. I feel like this is a present energy. They provoke acceleration of negative emotions within you. And what your spirit guides want you to know, your ancestors, the good ones, okay, I feel like I'm also hearing that maybe certain ancestors of yours also went to the darker side, okay? Now that could be somewhere where you also have to understand, because maybe you feel like you did not call upon these spirits, or how can they come and stay? Because certain times I feel like pile number two, I cannot explain you this too much, because this is something that you learn through the journey of life. Because when you have some certain, really supernatural abilities, you have gifts, you learn it through, you know, your own experience, and I can't possibly put these into words as to how you learned discernment through spirits, right? I had my own journey learning about how to discern spirits, and I feel like why I understand what happens to you is because they play on your mind, you know. And it's a lot about your psychic ability. So I feel like maybe there are certain ancestors that are not from the light, that are from your lineage, and they try to connect with you because they have also been part of, you know, certain, I'm hearing, dirty work from spirits. So you have to be very discerning of what spirits do you include yourself within too, right? And from what, okay, we're gonna get back to this in a bit. Ivory, wish fulfilling, crow. So I feel like with the crow spirit, this is the basic meaning of this card is almost like how to, okay, we have 39 and 40, so there's a progression in your energies. I feel like spirit is sort of telling me that pile number 2 does not need to worry as much as it might be sounding. I feel like your energy is also craving protection from you. It's almost like you're going through a level of spiritual enhancement, okay? And I feel like what they're teaching you is how to see the optimistic side. Now that I've placed the caution over here, you know, that is established, right? But I feel like what they're telling you, the second thing, is that you need to understand a little bit more about what's your strength and how you can call good things into your life, you know. It's almost like you wish for it and you can have it, okay? I think that you undermine your abilities, pile number 2. It's almost like you just downplay your spiritual strength of calling into your life. I'm hearing that somebody over here is trying to manifest a car for themselves, and you're thinking that it's just not gonna happen because it's gonna require a lot. I don't really match up to the amount of money that it requires, or I need to learn how to drive or something like this. It's almost like you need to learn how to have trust and faith within yourself even more. So I feel like pile number 2, your ancestors or your spirit guides are keeping this very brief today with me, because I feel like your energies particularly have certain things to do with just you and not to a general reading. So I feel like what they're enabling you is almost like put in a little bit more hard work into developing your spiritual abilities rather than trying to find answers through just this reading. They're giving you a little bit of bat pack. They're like, you know, brace yourself, because they're almost like they are still pushing you into your full limits, you know, your full whole version. That's what I spoke about, right? A little bit of like a wholesome perspective of what's good and bad for you. So I feel like you might have a message in pile number 1 as well. If you feel guided to it, do not just watch it for the sake of it, okay? It'll confuse messages for you. But if in the beginning you felt like watching it, do go back to pile number 1. All right, so they were asking me to pull out one card to conclude your reading. Upright, reverse, upright. We have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is about communication, and it's a little bit of like, for me, you know, because I'm a little used to romantic readings, that's always been my specialty. So I feel like with the Page of Cups, I get a little bit of, you know, I always relate it to like a flirty energy or like apology. So I feel like when we relate it with apology, it gives me the sense that this is about self-forgiveness. With the Aries, it's almost like allowing yourself to just tap into your inner potential and talking nice to yourself, being sweet to yourself. You know, that flirty energy towards self can be self acceptance, it's almost like hype yourself up, pile number 2, okay? So that this energy of not feeling good enough can go away. Fight your self depreciating thoughts, because I feel like you're really prone, something about this reading just binds down to, you know, I'm gonna leave it here, okay? It's almost like the enemy outside cannot attack what does not exist inside. It's almost like psychic attacks only happen when you have a certain fear that the other, you know, realm can pick up on, right? So you have to see what actually is your weaker spot that they're you know, attacking. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pile number two, I'm gonna leave it here. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye. Hello, pile number three. Last but not the least, if you chose this rose quartz. All right, I have to mention this, that your energy is pretty relaxing. Because I feel like whenever I speak about the rose quartz is what I'm seeing. It's like a lot of love, right? It's like pure energies. So I'm looking at the image in the thumbnail, and you know, this girl, she's really fascinated about what she's learning, and she's sort of being powered or ignited by fire, you know. And personally, I feel like fire is a very potent element that sort of enhances our creativity, right? So I can't help but notice the what's that called? It's a accessory piece on her arm. Okay, and this sort of band across her arm sort of feels like a protection spell to me. I feel like your ancestors really protect you, and I also feel like they're teaching you how to protect yourself. So you are connected with your ancestors, but there's a more there's requirement for connecting with them more. Okay, because I see a different energy within you, which is good, you know, because all three piles should have variety. But I feel like for you especially, I feel like there's a lot about you sort of going in connection with them, and then sort of coming out of it, there's a sort of a friction, you know. It's almost like when the radio's connectivity, the frequency is not completely good enough. So I feel like at this point, with the sort of headband also that she's wearing, it's almost giving like something is clogging your crown chakra at the moment. And from pile number two, I just had to sage my energy because the energy was really heavy from that. So I feel like this is a lot about clearing out from, you know, negative energies that could be prevalent. I see that this energy, especially your thumbnail, speaks volumes to me. You know, there's a lot of fog around. If you take a closer look with me at the picture, there's sort of like tree trunks, and there's something hanging from the tree trunks. It's a lot about rituals. I feel like magic, Wicca magic, you know, witchcraft, or whatever you like to take interest in, or something like that. I'm hearing that it would benefit you to play with herbs. Okay, it would benefit for you to make your own, you know, tea, or I'm hearing somebody reduce having caffeine, and start taking more consumption of tea. And I feel like you don't really like it because, you know, caffeine gives us a boost, but caffeine also has a crash. So if you're not aware of it, having too much caffeine throughout your day, or just coffee, it's almost like it makes you energetic for a bit, but then it gives you a really bad sort of, I would say, quote unquote downer, right? It gives you a crash. So I feel like your guides are wanting to let you know that you need to take a little bit more healthier steps to your consumption. It's not in a way where they're trying to lecture you. I feel like you don't like hearing this, but it's a lot in the way that you understand, so that you can connect better with your intuition, because I think that you are very, very, very intuitive, and I think that you haven't understood the whole grasp of your gifts. I feel like there's an energy of lingering past. Okay, so we're gonna open your cards. I'm feeling guided to do that. Safe to be seen. Okay, so this is a card which talks a lot about number 11, which is related to twin flamey, soulmatey kind of an energy. For me, I'll relate this with love and your experiences with love. We have self-love stone, you know, rose quartz. So I feel like I really enjoy the sunset that's happening right in front of me. You would have noticed that the reading's intro was quite bright, and now it's sort of a little dark because I've been taking my time, you know, to come to this reading. And I feel like the chatty energy that I get is from your guides. Like, they really want to talk to you more. They really want to talk to you about things that have been happening. I think that you have been purging through a lot of relationship wounds and trauma at this point, and they are with you at every step. Pile number 3, I am so tapped into energy, and I feel a sense of um is so much compassion coming from your guides, where they're like, I know that you've felt like, you've had enough and you're going through it, and I almost feel like crying because like the energy is so deep. Your guides really, really, really care for you. Pile number 3, safe to be seen. It's almost like I got an energy in the beginning of the reading when I was just sitting down to film this. It's almost like, they just sort of gave me energy that, pile number 3 is not comfortable with who they are. Almost like the, with the green colors over here, it's almost like your heart feels like it has to be compromised. Almost like you feel like you just can't be yourself, and you were, and I mean that in a sense where it's like something takes away from you completely expressing the amount of love that you hold for other people as well. So you have a person that you're not feeling safe to express the degree of love that you have for this person, and your ancestors are saying that it's safe for you to love. um they're saying that it's okay, and I feel a hesitancy in me saying this because I almost feel like it's a projection. It's almost like whenever you think that it's safe to love, it's almost like you feel like it's baloney, it's bullshit, why should I trust it, because something bad always ends up happening to me. But what they're letting you know, with, if you can see in this card, there's a sort of a crescent moon, sort of in an opaque sense. It's not completely visible, but I see that this energy comes from a place of your intuitiveness, teaching you how to navigate your way through, this um I would say a little emotionally deprived state. Okay, I feel like your guides really want to comfort you. I think that you have been having difficulty in sleeping at this time as well. So let's see, what else do we have to bind this reading. We have number 3, Obadiah. Obadiah. Okay. um if you can look at this card, there's sort of woman with her hair sort of comforting, and that's what I spoke right before I opened this card. It's almost like your guides are really protecting you with all that they have right now. And I feel like you have at least 3 to 5 guides around you that you know of, because you are being protected as of now. I'm hearing that you are our main priority. Okay, I'm hearing one of the best of the batch. So it's almost like your guides, you are one of their favorites is what I'm hearing, and they really want you to be happier about yourself. Because I think that it's almost like, I'm not even saying that you pick wrong people, but it's like the people that have come across or have had a karmic tie with you in this lifetime have almost been like, they have not appreciated the amount of love that you have given them. So I feel like this reading is a lot about just giving a little bit of I would say self-expression from your guides that is being channeled through me. I feel like this is a lot about, the crux of this pile number 3, how to connect with your ancestors, about healing. I wouldn't say that you're necessarily into shamanism, but I feel like about your angels or your higher self, whatever you partake in. But especially if it's about shamanism, it's about connecting with your lineage, your origin. So it's a lot about you understanding about your family backgrounds, your ancestors, connecting with those spirits, talking to those people of the dead. It's almost like I'm also getting that there's a grandmother from your maternal side that has been protecting you, and if you suspect that she has been there, yes, this is her. Okay, there's a feminine energy that has always been around you is what I'm feeling. And I almost feel like if this was somebody that passed away before you were born, she has always been around because she was sort of assigned. And I hear something which is like, she knew that she had to go so that she could guard you when you take birth on this planet. So that is so emotional. But I feel like part number 3, your reading is really emotional, and it's making me uncomfortable because like the amount of emotions I'm feeling is, it's just not, I feel like this is your energy. It's almost like I don't feel comfortable being this emotional on the camera. And I feel like this is about you being not allowing yourself to be emotional in front of other people. You're not okay with that amount of vulnerability with other people is what I'm hearing. So I feel like they want me to take out a card from Keepers of Light. We have Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy, move beyond your current challenges, focus on what you desire. So I feel like you really enjoy the night, because even I do. Melchizedek, I can't pronounce this word, I'm not going to embarrass myself. This says, you have learned from your experience, more inner study is now required to further progress. I feel like again we have sort of white hair around, and over here we have a woman that has her head covered, and she has a sort of heart in between, if you can look at it. Um, I almost feel like saying that, it's almost like a self-expression that is really coming through from your guides, which is like, they want you to understand that this is not how it's always gonna be for you, right? This is, if you think that, it's always gonna be this difficult, it's not gonna be like this. And there's an energy of a surety that they're wanting to bring to you. I feel like, um, it's almost like I'm feeling tongue tied at the moment. I feel like you feel distracted at times from your path, and you feel like it's not going to be given to you, and especially when it comes to love. So they want you to understand that what you know inside is true. Pile number 3, it's true. I was about to say pile number 2, so you might have a message over there. But with the move beyond current challenges, focus on what you desire. It's almost like, what you want is possible within your grasp. Don't diminish your light. Don't don't limit yourself from what you want. And I see that with the Scorpio energy, intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. I said about purging, right? So this is a lot about you being able to just purge this. I'm hearing that you have a few layers to shed of emotional unavailability that you have not given to yourself in the first place. So I feel like this is the reason why you go in and out of communication with your guides, because sometimes you're purging heavy emotions that have been bottled up, and because you're doing that, your intuition is not continuously accessible to you, so which is completely natural. Okay, don't feel worried about this. They're just explaining you as to why sometimes you feel disconnected, and you do not have to worry about anything. You don't have to put extra effort during moments of purging to connect with them. Just flow with it. You will always receive the guidance that you have to. I'm getting 333 over here. um I feel like sometimes you just get really restless, or you just feel a little cautious about things that are happening around you, and they want to let you know that in the dark is when you will transform and come out in the light. So just have a little patience, okay? Just hold on, is what I'm hearing. I gotta take one more card from the Keepers of Light. I saw a green color. A green color is really important over here. It's all about the heart chakra. We have Lady Nada, Heart Awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love, give and receive in balance. So, bottom of the deck, we have soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection between all things. So I feel like one of the things Spirit wants to remind you is that at this point, when you're going through with something with this specific person or soulmate of yours, it could also be a karmic relationship that you know of. We're taking this reverse. So we have the Three of Cups in reverse. Okay, that's enough. So they're saying that there's somebody that you want to reunite with, or somebody that's wanting to reunite with, and you're not able to receive love from them, and somewhere you're questioning as to why they're not able to give you, or why you're not able to take from them. And it's because receiving love from other people has always had a hidden motivation, hidden motive under it, excuse me. So I feel like when you think that you're going to accept something from somebody, it's like they're going to have some control over you. So if you're going to accept, shelter, or if you're going to accept abundance, or if you're going to accept care from somebody, they're going to sort of have a sword over your head and be like, you have to return the favor to me the next time, right? So it's not about the fact that you can't receive love, or you don't want to be catered by somebody else, or be preferred by somebody else, or you don't, if it's not that you don't want love, or you're not able to. There's nothing wrong with you, but it's just that your mentality doesn't allow you to receive comfort from another person, because you've always experienced that, whenever I experience love or take it from somebody, they almost do it so that later on they can be asking me for a favor back in return, because they did something for me. So it's almost like you feel like you've experienced love with people in the past, especially when you've shown them your love, and you've given it and you've taken. It's almost like they have always just sort of taken away from you in the name of love. It's almost like they make you feel like you owe them something, because you took love from them, or you took shelter from them. I keep getting the word shelter, so this could be related to a masculine figure in your life. It could be specifically your father, who made you feel like taking care of you as a child was a liability in a sense. And I'm really, really sorry if that's hurtful, and I know that that can be triggering, and it might really make you cry. but it's almost like you have to relive those moments where he made you feel like, or he or she, whoever made you feel like, or it could be past partners that made you feel like they're doing you a favor by loving you, you know. So it's almost like receiving love has a little bit of I would say a negative connotation to it. So this unavailability to take love is coming from a phase of feeling like, you know, people owe you something, or you owe something to somebody because you accepted love from them. I hope I was able to explain that correctly. So pile number two, pile number three, you might definitely have a message in pile number two, but pile number three, this brings us to the end of your reading. Your guys want me to take out one last card. We're gonna take this in reverse. See, this is the twin card. The Miriam sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. So I would just give you a higher perspective that you might or might not grasp at the moment, but keep an open mind. It's almost like, you know, if you had certain people who were teaching you that love has to be unconditional and they gave you a taste of really conditional love, it's because you had to understand that, you know. It's almost like you go through things that you don't want so you can understand what you want, and nobody wants conditional love. I get that, okay? I completely understand your point, but you know, you had to go through these points so that you could you know, these phases. Okay, I said I point, so maybe there were a lot of phases in your life where you felt like you literally have nobody to rely upon, and this is why you don't take even help. And receiving help is also a form of love, right? So I feel like this interdependence that you have on yourself, it's a codependency that doesn't allow you to open up to people. And I feel like you need to know this, that it's okay to receive love because you will not owe anything to anybody, you know. People, or specifically this twin or this soulmate that wants to love you, or this partner, is not looking for extorting from you. This person wants to give to you exactly like your ancestors have been giving you, right? So something about an altar, making an altar for them, or just remembering them in your prayers would be really helpful, is what they're saying. They really miss you, is what I'm hearing. All right, so pile number three, this brings us to the end of your reading. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye.